Hi, my name is Eva Carlton. I play Lenny Loud on Nickelodeon's The Really Loud House. Come get ready with me. Okay, so I always start off with moisturizer. And that is because, it's winter time, the air is drier, and so you really need moisturizer. And also because I shoot in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Albuquerque is what we call the high desert. And that means that it is very dry there all the time. So you need to moisturize to keep your skin hydrated and looking great. So yeah, just rub this in. I'm gonna go with a natural look today. Something really nice just for the daytime because I'm about to go on a walk with my friends. So when that's all rubbed in, the next thing I'm gonna do, and this is very important, is go in with sunscreen. Sunscreen is super important to use in your daily routine because the best thing you can do for your skin is wear sunscreen. It prevents you from premature aging, like wrinkles, and also skin cancer, so it's very important. And like sunscreen is the number one secret to looking young when you're old. So I'm just doing it so that I look young when I'm old, because I'm still young right now, so that's not something I need to worry about. But I just rub that in. The great thing about this is that it's glowy. It's the Super Goop Glow Screen, and it's SPF 40. So it's super glowy and makes me look all radiant, I guess. I don't know what the word would be, but I rub that in, make sure it's nice and soaked in. And today, because I'm going with more of a natural look, I think that I am going to not do foundation, and I'm just going to do concealer. So I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in shade Cannelle. And I've used this for a few years now, so I'm kind of in the market for a new concealer. Not this exact one, but I buy this concealer every time I run out. And so I'm kind of thinking that I should maybe branch out and try something new, because I've been using this one for so long. So if anyone has any suggestions. Yeah, I just kind of go in a nice little triangle. And I'm gonna dot my blemishes. So my chin is always an area that breaks out all the time. Not quite sure why. It's just, there's always some kind of clogged pore there. And then my forehead, because I'm breaking out quite badly on my forehead actually. Just gonna dot all around because it kind of needs it everywhere. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender. And I'm going to wet it, dampen it, and blend it all out. So I saw this tip a while ago that you always want to blend up, and that's going to make you look more snatched. So I'm going to do that. Sometimes I need to add a bit more in certain places. So here needs it. I can do that here too. So yeah. I'm currently in my room, and you can see in the background, I have my little desk. It's tiled, and I did that myself. It was a DIY, or I did it with my parents, not all by myself. They deserve credit. We just went and bought a random desk and tiled it. You can see my sewing machine in the back, and you can also see my artwork, which is actually, fun fact, a collage that one of my best friends since birth made me when I turned 11. It was my birthday present from her. When I turned 11, it was the very end of our 5th grade year, and so we had that summer, and then the next year we were both going to different middle schools. And so she made me this just really heartfelt collage of a bunch of photos of me when I was younger and of both of us. And it's 7 years later, and it's still hanging up in my room, so. Okay. That's good. I'm gonna get down here. Usually I like to use a good foundation or a skin tint to even out the skin, but I recently ran out of my skin tint So I only have my foundation, and I just think foundation is too heavy right now. So anyway, I'm gonna do all of this. Maybe add a little bit more in a few areas, and I'll get that with a concealer brush. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with bronzer. I really like to use this Tower 28 bronzer, and because it's nice and shimmery and it's also very buildable. Also, I realized I didn't use my primer today. I usually use primer when I do a heavier makeup look, but I didn't use it today. And we're just sticking with moisturizer today for primer. Anyway, so I like to use this bronzer. I also have this one, but this one is, again, I just feel like for a heavier look when I'm trying to get more definition on my cheekbones than this, because this one's just a little bit more easy breezy fun. I was gonna say easy breezy CoverGirl, but it's not CoverGirl. Anyway, so I like to take this. Sometimes I also spray setting spray on this. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. And actually, fun fact, the Urban Decay All Nighter, I mean, this is Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow, but the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray is actually made by Skindinavia. So if, and it says it on the back, that's why I'm pointing towards it. So if you're ever at your local Sephora or Ulta and they're sold out of this and they sell Skindinavia, which I'm pretty sure they do, you can just buy that and it's the exact same thing. And take this, get it here, and then I kind of like to put on my bronzer like how I put on my blush with like the apples of your cheeks into here. And I realized that because I was putting on my blush and I was like, this is how my bronzer should look. So I've started doing that, but I do start here. See, and isn't that nice? I heard Kim Kardashian say once, I think it was her, that you should do your bronzer in a 3 motion like this. So that's what I've been doing. I'm gonna do my forehead after I fix this though. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I need to blend that out. Also tip, if your bronzer starts to ever look a little splotchy or just like too much in an area, you should always, or you can always take your beauty blender and blend it out, because something just works better with your beauty blender blending it out rather than going in with the same brush. Probably just because it doesn't have the same amount of product on it. See, like that's a really harsh line and I don't want that line, so I'm gonna maybe add just a bit more in the corner. Okay, looks good. I want it to be a little bit, I know I just said I didn't want it to be that harsh, but I think I made it a little too not harsh. I'm gonna just take some powder and kind of bake under it. Just a little bit though, just so that I can define the line a little bit better. And just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go in to blush. I've been really liking this Freck Beauty Cheek Slime, and it's in the shade Jam Sesh. I either use this or I also use my Benetint in like the rose. I really like that too, but I've just been trying to try new products recently because I've been using this one for 6 months. So I'm trying to branch out. But yeah, I'm just going to get a little bit, I'm gonna put it on my finger. Sometimes I put it on a brush, sometimes on my finger. But I'm just gonna start to pat it in. I also really like this blush because I feel like it's really buildable. I've recently been more into buildable makeup just because it's a lot easier to deal with and to apply than makeup that's super pigmented. Just because, I mean, I feel like I've way too often like messed up and had to spend forever trying to blend things out, which I'm not into. Always just gonna put a little bit on the nose and I'll blend that out in a second because I have to get to this. It's just a nice blush. And got the nose. And And I'm going to go in on the other side. Oh, I almost did too much. But yeah, just dot, dot. Start to tap it in. Okay. I am gonna take my beauty blender and just try to blend it out a bit more over here because I feel like we have a bit too much right there. So I'm gonna take my powder brush again and fix that with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, which she kind of has a monopoly on setting powder, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like everybody uses this. Okay, I might add just a little bit more pigment right here just to match the other side, or I might try to blend that out a bit more. You know, she needs a little bit more, but like the tiniest dot. I'm gonna put some of the excess just on here for now because I don't want to waste it. But yeah, I'm gonna go in with my blush brush, which also I've owned this brush, this exact same brush, since I was 11 or 12, because these were all the rage. They're the Tarte unicorn brushes. I remember when they came out, I spent like my birthday money on this. They were like $40 or something like that. And I was obsessed with them. And I've owned them ever since. I clean them very frequently, but yeah. So now that that is done, I'm actually going to go in and set my under eyes because they are creasing. So yeah, now I'm gonna go in and set my under eyes with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and this brush. And I just like using only a little bit. Oh my God, I got powder in my eye. Because with too much powder, it can just look a little cakey. So I've tried to take some techniques from set that I've witnessed, what they do on me, try to learn. So for instance, I used to always put my blush right on my under eyes like this to look a little sun-kissed. But you know, as now it's winter, I feel like that's not always appropriate, or just, it doesn't really make sense. And so I've started mimicking what they do on set with the apples of the cheeks, which obviously has always been a blush technique, but I guess I didn't really understand why, because I never thought it looked that good until I saw them do it on me. So yeah, anyway, now I'm gonna finally fix my forehead with my concealer brush. And I'm using a brush for this because brushes don't absorb product like the beauty blenders do because they're sponges. And so it'll be more opaque and cover the blemish better. That's also why I've left it on for longer, because the longer you leave on the concealer, the more opaque it is because it's harder to blend. Yeah, so it's still minorly there, but I can get over it because I'm not color correcting. Anyway, now I'm actually gonna set that with my powder again. And I am gonna bronze my forehead, but I think I'm actually gonna bronze my forehead with my powder bronzer that I have, which I got in Ipsy, so I actually have no idea what it is. It's by Nomad. And it's called the Kiss of Sun Bronze and Contour Powder. I don't even know how to open this thing. There we go. And I'm gonna take this brush, tap it. This is really pigmented though, so I have to be careful. I'm just kind of tap it on my forehead just so that I can match the rest of my face. Also, the temples, I think those are your temples. I'm honestly not sure. I'd always get confused when I was reading books and they'd say she placed her hands on her temples. Like, I didn't really know what that means, but I'm assuming that that's what your temples are. They should be darker because also you're blending it in with your blush that we draped up there. But anyway, okay, and that looks good. Just a little bit of pigment. I'm gonna go around my... Okay, and now for eyebrows. Sometimes I fill them in, but not for today, just because I want a nice airy look. So I'm gonna just brush them up. Actually, I really need to get my eyebrows waxed. They haven't been waxed in a while because I didn't want to do it while I was actively filming. So maybe I'll do that while I'm home. Yeah, brush them all the way up. You can either leave them all the way up. I honestly think this is kind of a look. Maybe I'll do that today. I usually end up brushing them down after, but I feel really lifted. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And Anastasia Beverly Hills really knows what they're doing with eyebrows. And that's because they were actually kind of the first in that domain. But let's see. Yeah, I watched a whole video essay on Anastasia Beverly Hills and how they got like their, I guess, time in the makeup industry and how they were kind of the first to really tackle brows for the average person to sell brow products. They kind of revolutionized the brow market. So yeah. I'm gonna do that on the other side. I did end up pushing them down a little bit just because I thought they looked a little untamed. Now I'm debating doing mascara today because I actually hate putting on mascara and I like how I look right now. But I think I will for the sake of this video. I'm going to be using my Ilia Lengthening Mascara. I usually go in with a combination of the Ilia Lengthening Mascara and the Ilia Volumizing Mascara. But I don't think we need to volumize right now. So I'm gonna go in with this. And there's actually two sides. One that's, I don't know if you can tell, but one of them is longer and it's kind of to sort through the clumps. So I'm gonna go in with that side on the bottom and kind of just curl it. I hate putting on mascara. I hate the process of putting it on. I like how it looks, but I hate the process. And something about it makes me like my skin crawl. So I'm gonna keep doing that. So I was just making sure I had Q-tips to wipe all the mascara off my eyelids when I'm done, because I know I'm gonna have some. I've always been told that I have really big eyes, and that's also why I like mascaras, because I think it draws attention to how big my eyes are. When I was little, I was kind of called bug eyes because of just the size. Which I've actually noticed a lot of us on the Really Loud House have. We all have big eyes. My mom said is because we look like cartoon characters. So. And also when I was younger, I used to want like blue eyes because I have hazel colored eyes. I don't know if you can tell. It's better when my eyes are in the light, which every girl with hazel eyes says, because they're brown with like little flecks of green, because my mom has green eyes, like grass green, not blue green, grass green. She's the prettiest eyes I've ever seen, and I was always really jealous of her. But yeah, I always wanted really bright colored eyes until I realized that I have big eyes and I would look kind of crazy if my eyes were also like a piercing blue shade. I feel like I would look scary. So I'm good with my sweet doe eyes. Together. So now I'm gonna do my lips. My lips, it really depends on the day what I'm going for. But today, because I'm just going natural, I think I'm gonna go with my Clinique Black Honey. This is a trending color and it's been a popular color for forever because it supposedly looks good on everyone. And I do really like it. I feel like it's really good for winter time. I'm gonna blot a little bit. Actually don't have blotting paper with me right now, so I'm just gonna, there we go. Now I'm gonna put on my Lawless. I'm just realizing that that was kind of dirty and not great looking. It's a mirror, but it says Lawless. Lawless Lip Plumping Sleep Mask in Sweet Dream. And it's basically just like a lip, it's a hydrating lip mask that looks like lip gloss and plumps my lips. And it lasts longer than lip gloss. So it's just like a lip plumper that I can keep on because I like my lips when they're a bit plump. But yeah, okay. Now I'm going to go in with my Q-tip and I'm going to clean up all of the mascara. I'm gonna wet the Q-tip with my spray bottle. So now I have this. Just gonna go in. Got that off. Let me see if you can see the black. And then I'm gonna go in on this side. This side always has more for me because it's my left side. And a right-handed person. So this side is dry still. I'm just gonna go in and yeah, now for the last step, which is setting spray. And as I've already mentioned, I use the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow Setting Spray. I'm just gonna douse myself in that. Woo. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. You can catch me as Lenny Loud in Nickelodeon's The Really Loud House, all new episodes every Thursday at 7. And make sure you subscribe to the Jamo YouTube channel. Thanks.